Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am Candace, and right now I'm doing a bunch of booktube type videos because I'm riding this wave. I am just feeling like reading. This is Sir Clive. He is my manager, my tyrant, and my fluffy little prince. We love him here. I already had quite a good January TBR list, but then 8 of the books that I put on hold from the library became available. So we're gonna try and get through quite a bit of those library books because my husband is working this weekend, so I'm going to use that time to just dive in. But before we get to those, I wanted to talk about one book that I am reading throughout the entire month, Anna Karenina. This version is 800 pages, and so I did the math, and I need to read approximately 26 pages per day, which I have been on track for, and that will get me through all of the 800 pages in the month of January. So I'm actually a little bit above that because I've been going like 28-ish, more or less, in order to finish out the chapters that I'm on. So I will be reading a little bit of this every single day, and I'll talk more about Anna Karenina in my January wrap up. So we know I'm reading a little bit of that every day. The first book that I want to finish today is Our Dark Duet. Last night I got to page 448 out of 510, so I've only got this much left. It's a YA fantasy. I should be able to zoom right through it. Usually like the last 50 or so pages I just power through anyway. So I'll finish this first so that I can start fresh. And this is one of the last library books from my first checkout of the year that I need to finish so that I can turn in. But I feel like I'm missing one. Oh yeah, it's also in here, but I'm going to read that later. Okay, so the second book that I want to get done tonight is Every Hearted Doorway by Shauna McGuire. And this is a series. I don't know that much about it. I know that it's fantasy, and whenever I heard of the synopsis, it gave me Narnia vibes, and I love C.S. Lewis. I love the Chronicles of Narnia, so I definitely want to check this out. It's really short, so I have absolutely no doubt that I will be able to finish this tonight. Yeah, it's 169 pages, and it doesn't look too dense, so I'm very excited. If I love this and give it a 5 stars, I'm just gonna go ahead and invest in the series. I've made that decision. Giving myself kind of a more relaxed pace for this weekend. I am planning to pick up the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires tomorrow. I have never read Grady Hendrix. I need to start reading Grady Hendrix as one of the authors on my list that are very popular that I have never read and that I want to start. So I wanted to start reading this before Selling a Haunted House, whatever his new book is. My goal was to try and read this before that comes out. Hopefully I'll be able to get it done this weekend. But since it's more horror and should be a bit more fast-paced, I'm thinking I should be able to get done with this in a day, even though it is a little bit thicker than what I would normally expect to get done in a day. But either way, I am starting this and hope to knock out a good bit of it on Saturday. So the next book that I plan to read on Saturday is I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. And I believe that this is a translation, but I could be wrong. Am I wrong? No, it says translated by. So this is a translation, and I first heard about this book from Emily Fox with Books, Books with Emily Fox and Books, some organization of that word salad. Anyway, basically all that I know about this is that we have some women in a bunker who have never known men, and I don't want to get too much more information about it. It is shorter, so I plan to read and finish this on Saturday. If I have time on Sunday, I want to read Circe. This is another author, I believe Madeline Miller. Yes, Madeline Miller. who is on my list of people that I should have read by now, but I have not. So there we go. I hope to get Cersei done on Sunday, and then maybe even a library run, because I have yet more books on hold that are available. I have 4 more books. So I need to go and pick them up, and I need to go and drop some more off, and also I need to donate some more books. So that is my plan for the weekend. I will check back in probably once I finish our dark duet, and then a little bit into Every Hearted Doorway. But all right, I'll see you later. Hi there. So I'm back, and sorry if the video quality is just its usual shade of garbage. The sun set way earlier than I expected, and I do not feel as though investing in a professional light is really worth my money at this point in my YouTube journey. But I have logged out of work, so I am ready to thoroughly begin my reading for the weekend. I'm going to finish our dark duet, like I said earlier, and then I'm going to start Every Hearted Doorway. Now, while I love this book, I'm more excited to start this than finish this. And that's not a great sign. It probably means that I don't super care how it ends, which is unfortunate because I care about the characters and I like the story. Or maybe I'm just like, ooh, shiny new object and I need to jump on to the next thing. But either way, I'm about to officially begin. I did read my day's worth of Anna Karenina during lunch today. That book is just, it's tasty. I already have plans for what I'm going to do when I reread it. That's how much I'm enjoying it. I'm about 160 something pages in out of 800, and it's just I want to, this first time through, I want to just read it through just as though I was an everyday reader, not trying to analyze, just enjoying the story and the characters for what it is. And then the next time through, I'm gonna go hard on analysis. I want to dive into each of these characters and just pick them apart and figure out the symbols and the themes and identify the different. This isn't really about Anna Karenina, but I fear that this might turn into a thing about Anna Karenina. But I just see so much symbolism for what's going on, and also I suck at anything relating to politics. So I feel like this will be a good way to kind of help me pick apart some of that, because obviously that's in there. But yeah, so I even have Every Hearted Doorway closer to me than our dark duet. So I'm going to finish this real quick, and then start on Every Hearted Doorway, and that will put me at 200 and something pages tonight. And maybe if I finish Every Hearted Doorway early enough, I might pick up something else, depending on how I feel. Also, The Pale Blue Eye, the movie with Christian Bale and the actor, the no-name actor, not in a bad way, but just saying he's a new actor who's playing Edgar Allan Poe, is supposed to be coming on Netflix tonight. And I want to watch it so bad, but I also want to wait for a husband because I know he's interested in it too. But also my best friend who lives here is also interested in it. So I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll just watch it without them and then lie to both of them. Check in a... I'm trying to film this, but Sir Clive is wanting attention. So, Sir Clive, tell me why this book almost made me cry. Literally, I was fighting back tears. The ending... obviously I can't tell you anything, but man, see, this is the same thing that happened with this Savage song. I go back and forth about it, but anyway, I'm done with it now. I'm about to pick up Every Hearted Doorway. I hope that doesn't upset me as well. Sir Clive, what do you think? Yes. Okay, sorry, this angle is going to be kind of weird for a little while. It's what I've got. This is the best light in the apartment. So, checking back in on Saturday, almost afternoon. It might be noon. I don't know. I've been reading all morning. But last night, I read and completed Every Hearted Doorway, and oh my gracious. It took everything in my power not to just go ahead and buy the entire series, like right then and there. But it was like late and I was tired, and I have gotten into the good habit now of not making online purchases without sleeping on it first, pretty much for anything. Because last time that I didn't do that, I bought 48 protein bars, and at least 32 of them are still sitting in my kitchen. But I finished this last night. This was amazing. It's like if you loved Chronicles of Narnia and you happen to like be a goth kid or a goth adult or just into some kind of morbid, like a morbid Chronicles of Narnia, this is for you, my friend. And oh my god, this is for me. Like, oh, I'm so mad it took me this long to read it. And I've known about it for a few years now, at least. It's only been out for a few years. But anyway, Every Hearted Doorway, Shannon Maguire. Perfection. Like literally my first 5-star read in a while. And it gave me all of the feelings that I wanted. All right, so I am officially halfway through Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. This is the first time I have ever read anything from Grady Hendrix, and I'm so conflicted because the story itself, obviously I'm not going to give any spoilers, but the story itself is good. Now when and I mean that like by the beat. Now when Sir Clive is angry because I disturbed his sleep. So sorry, buddy. There were some things happening in this book that make me very uncomfortable. First of all, our protagonist's husband, he's hot garbage. Like, there are some things that he has said to her that I have literally like stopped and be like, abso-fucking-lutely not. We would have been in couples therapy within the minute. And then also the like antagonist is just a walking red flag. Like, I don't think that is spoiling it for anyone. He is just a dripping with a redness red flag. And I think that that's kind of supposed to be the point now that I've read more. But none of that is the problem. The problem is the stereotyping of any black character. And I get that this is like in the late 80s, early 90s in Charleston. And I'm not going to be one to be like, it wasn't racist back then, because it was. I grew up in Memphis at that time. I understand that racism in like the Mid-South area still super alive and well, even in 2022. So I'm not going to act like that doesn't exist. But in 2020, when this book was written, did you need to write the characters like such horrible stereotypes? Like within the first couple of chapters, we literally have maybe a mammy like type archetype character, like, and I don't know. And so that's the thing, like, I'm pushing myself to finish this because some of it is just so good, but I feel so uncomfortable with other parts, and I'm like, why? Oh yeah, and then like white saviorism, the white savior thing with like it amok. And I'm like, I keep hoping that Grady Hendrix is going to like somehow call this out and it's all going to like flip and we're all going to learn something. I'm scared we're not. I'm scared we're not going to learn anything. I like the book. I feel kind of bad for saying that I like the book because there's very obviously problems in here. Like if I were, well, I don't know how, I'm not black. I can't say what I would think if I were a black reader. I'm definitely going to go and look at some of the black YouTubers that I follow who are in BookTube I'm gonna see if any of them say anything about this, because I wanna hear it from someone not looking like me. I feel like I need some variety of thought on this to not necessarily feel good about liking it, because that I'm not looking for validation. I can stop holding this up now. It's not that I'm looking for validation, it's just I want to be able to put into words what is bothering me about this. And I'm not able to come up with the right words because I don't have the right life experience, if that makes any sense. So anyway, any hoozles, I'm going to try and finish this in the next couple of hours. Again, I have like 200 pages left, so I should be able to finish it in 3 to 4 hours. And then I need to go to the library, drop off some books, pick up some more books. I put way too many books on hold, and now I feel like I'm in a time crunch to read each and every single one of them, and I feel kind of guilty about it. But anyway, there we go. I'll see you in a bit. So I genuinely think that I need to pause and take a step away from this book. I should have waited at least one more chapter before doing my halfway review, or one more section. I'm currently at chapter 24, page 240 out of 404 pages, I think, and this is triggering to the point now where it is highly uncomfortable for me to read, and I'm feeling I mean, for lack of a better term, triggered. I know that word has like its own connotation now because of society, but it does have a genuine meaning as well, and it's bringing up some things that I am not super comfortable with. And yeah, the pain that I am feeling through this protagonist right now is pretty intense, and I do not think that this book was meant to be read in one sitting, so maybe it's my fault for trying to get through the whole thing in one sitting, and maybe I shouldn't have done that, but I'm gonna take a break from it and go and watch something, and then maybe start reading something else. The other book that I wanted to read today was I Who Have Never Known Men, but that is also a very heavy book and I need something lighter. So the other books that I have on deck right now from the library are Circe and Vita Nostra. From what I remember from the synopsis, Vita Nostra is pretty heavy, so I might be picking up Circe, but I also need to go to the library to pick up some other books that I had on hold, and I'm going to turn in some of the books that I recently finished. So maybe I just need to go and do that and give myself a little break. So we'll see. Anyway, just wanted to give that update. I don't know why people love this. I don't get it. Like, this is like painful to read, and not painful like in a good way. I can't say too much without spoiling anything. Yeah, I'm just having a really hard time with it. But anyway, maybe that's just me. I have read some very dark stuff in my time, but for whatever reason, this is hitting right now. But I am almost 3/4 of the way through it, so I will make myself finish it, but I kind of want to DNF it, to be honest. Anyway, that's it for now. Got a bag of books. Much success. So it just seems as though this vlog is me descending into more and more depths of dishevelment, but let's go ahead and talk a bit more. It is Sunday morning. Good morning to you and yours. I have a bag of library books. I think there's 5 in there, but some of them are small. Also, was I going to talk? This is my first time speaking this morning. I should have prepared. Anyway, so before, oh no, this table is moving. Okay, before we talk about the Southern Book Club's guide to slaying vampires, wow, my voice does not want to catch up. I did finish this last night because I had to watch other people's reviews. Like, I needed to know what other people thought about this book. And the first person that I came across was Jess Owens. And like within the first 2 minutes, she was like, it has spoilers, or she's going to give spoilers. So I was like, shit, now I have to finish this book. So I went ahead and finished it. I got done around 9:30, 10 o'clock last night, and then just like watched reviews. Like, I fell asleep to someone doing a beat by beat review. I can't remember her name, but I'm going to link hers and Jess Owens's videos in the description below. We'll get to that in a second. I feel like a lot of people are gonna hate me for what I'm gonna say, but here is bag of, let me just take them out like this. So one of the books that I really wanted to read last year and I just never got around to it, and now I'm kind of thinking maybe I'm not going to end up wanting this because I had such an experience with Southern Book Club. But Tender is the Flesh. So this is like a love it or hate it kind of book. It's supposed to be very gruesome, which I do actually like gruesome literature, like make me feel some ick. I liked The Vegetarian, so I feel like if I like that, then I should like this. But I'm not basing that on anything. It's just my pure speculation. So I finally got that. And then Frederick Bachman's Beartown. Wow, this book has been through some stuff. But anyway, I have only read A Man Called Ove by Frederick Bachman, and it just, oh my gosh, it tore up my entire soul, and I need to go out and buy that book. Because I had gotten it from a library as well. But I haven't read any more Frederick Bachman since then because I need to be in the mood to cry. And I feel like my period's coming up. I feel like this will be good. So also I have no idea what it's about, but it's him and people love it. So there we go. The next one is The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. So this is actually a young adult horror. If you don't know, it's a retelling of Carrie, which, fun fact, I have never read Carrie. I've never seen the movie, but I have seen the sequel to Carrie. And also I think that most of us just kind of like, I know what happens. Like, it's not going to spoil the book for me, it's fine. But this is a retelling, and it deals a lot more with a mixed race girl. She's half white, half black, and she's passing as white, and then the whole school finds out that she's actually black. She ends up getting bullied, and then she goes Carrie on their asses. But I think that there's a lot more discussion about race in this one. So I definitely want to read this, and then I'll probably try to pick up the original Carrie after that. But I have heard just smashingly good things about this, that it was amazing. And also the cover is beautiful. I know you can't really see it because of the glare off of the library plastic, but man, it's like hauntingly beautiful. So the next book, this is a little bub. So A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. And there's now 2 books out in this, and it's a monk and a robot, and they're going on an adventure, and I heard that it's really heartwarming. So I definitely need that because most of these books look like they are depressing and heavy, and I'm going to need something lighter, and I heard that this was lighter. So yeah, that's what this is for. But I've been wanting to read this. I didn't know about this when it first came out, but I saw the sequel when it came out last year, and I was like, well, shit, now I need to read the first one because the sequel seemed so awesome. So this will probably be one where if I absolutely love 5 stars, then I'll probably go ahead and buy this and the sequel. And kind of along the same notes, so I was able to put Down Among the Stick and Bones by Shannon McGuire, the next installment of the Wayward Children's series. Yes. So after Every Heart a Doorway, after I finished that the other night, instead of immediately going in and buying it, I was like, slow your roll. There's like 8 books in this series. Do not get financially invested just yet. So I'm going to read this one. It seems like it has a slightly different synopsis. We're following a couple of the girls from the first book, and I think it's supposed to be a little bit of a prequel of how they ended up at the boarding house school thing. So yeah, I want to check out the second one, make sure that I love it, and then I'll go and buy every single one and just eat them up. So that is everything that I picked up from the library yesterday. I still have I Who Have Never Known Men, which I'm about to start reading this morning, Circe, and then Vita Nostra, which I do not plan on reading this weekend. I will probably save that for later this week. And then also yesterday, because I was so tied up into this, I completely forgot about Anna Karenina. So I need to read not only my 26 pages of today, but a little bit more. I'm going to do the math and just see, like, I don't want to push myself to read so much that I feel like overwhelmed. And again, there was like a point to me taking that book slowly, and I want to stay with that. So I don't want to like do, instead of 26 pages, I don't want to do 52 unless I'm just like barreling through and like absolutely loving it. I'm deliberately taking this slow, so I'm gonna see what I can do there. But I'll read at least 30 pages, and if I need to do that for a little while just to catch back up, then I'll do that. I don't want this to turn into a whole I'm just gonna call it Southern book like review. I don't want it to turn into that. I feel like I had this issue with Little Women in my last reading vlog, where I had so much that I needed to say about it, and it was just hard to put into words. Long story short, I gave this a 2-star review, and the only reason why it got 2 stars is because genuinely some of the scenes in this book are written fantastically. When I tell you that, like, some of the really, really gruesome stuff in this book that Grady Hendrix wrote, like, I was genuinely feeling my skin crawl. Like, those things were written so amazingly. Like, I was disgusted in the best ways. And then also, one of the themes that he was really hitting hard on was men not listening to women. And I mean, when I tell you, I was livid with those husbands. I mean, livid. I was so angry, and I felt very tied to the protagonist. I cared about her. I identified with her in a lot of ways. Now, the reason why I'm giving this a 2 stars is because there were other things that I believe, in my opinion, were not handled with the utmost care. So there is, and just trigger content warning, keep going until I'm holding a different book or in a different place, because this will be the last thing that I talk about here. So once my background or whatever changes, I'm no longer talking about this book. But suicide, SA, child abuse, what else? I think that's it. Oh, and then like race stuff, obviously, which I mentioned already. But, okay, so there is a suicide attempt that happens in this book, and the way that it's handled is so disgusting. Like, and I get that it's supposed to make you feel disgusted with this other character, but we don't come back to it. And I was genuinely upset. Like, that was the part where I had to put this book down and be like, I need to take some time. Like, I can't deal with that. And then they mention it, but they don't really wrap it up. So I'm like, what the hell? And then we have multiple instances of SA against children that is, I'm literally having a heart, that is somewhat fetishized and made to seem like sexy. And not for both of them, but for one of them, it's meant, I feel like it was written to be like sexy. And then the main character who has seen these is somehow still turned on by this guy. I don't know how. And it could have been explained by the fact that, you know, he's a vampire and he has these abilities to like make people lust in ways that they normally wouldn't. But that was not, I'm putting this down. That was not explored. That was not something that we saw with any of the other characters, any of them, besides like the children and our protagonist that he like actually violates. And we see a horrible representation of how that SA is handled. Oh my God. And then there's also, I forgot about this, there's also the rape of a character, which the description of finding her is just sickening, and not in the good way, but like in the wrong skin crawling way. Like, I do not feel good about this. So I understand why people like this book. I do. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe Grady Hendrix is not for me. Maybe there are other things in his horror universe that I should have known about before going into this. I will say, after looking at other reviews of Final Girl Support Group, whatever, I have no interest in reading that. And I'm still somewhat interested in my best friend's exorcism, but let me know if I did not like this. Should I just put him down, like, for the time being, and maybe come back? Maybe not. Hi there, Editing Candace here. So I do start to get into some spoilers, but this is stuff that I feel like I need to talk about, or at least I want to be able to share my opinion on. So please skip to this time, whatever I put on the black screen, if you do not want to see any spoilers or hear any spoilers, whatever. Thanks. It was the way that these topics were handled was so flippant, and I can't imagine a mother watching her daughter get violated by someone and then being turned on by that person that violated her daughter. I can't, and I'm sorry. I did, even some of the little scenes where it was like, oh, that's kind of funny. I get that you're trying to make this funny now. You're trying to do some comedic relief. It's not enough. This is horrifying, and not in a good way. The other thing that I will say, going back to the issue of race, and I like, so Mrs. Green's character, why? What? Was she a token? Was that it? Like, because in the end, when everything is happening, and Patricia's passed the fuck out at this point. Patricia didn't even do shit. She just like rallied the forces and everyone did her dirty work for her. Anyway, but Mrs. Green is doing the majority, and if you don't remember, she is the like one black character who we get to actually know really anything about. And so she's doing the majority of the manual labor. Like, she is breaking her back right now, which I guess makes sense because she was the one who was most affected by this. But at the same time, could we not have had like any awareness for these other pearl clutching women? Like, could we not have done Mrs. Green better? And also, we learn her first name. We call every single other woman in this book by her first name, except for Mrs. Green. And I 100% think that that is still sticking in the mammy, like, archetype caricature thing. I 100% think that that is still sticking in there. Whether that is something that he meant to do and meant it to be a look at or not, I'm pointing it out. It bothered me. And then every single other time that we meet a person, we meet Black people 3 or 4 times, it is very clearly defined. There were Black servers. There was a Black bartender. Like, no one else is told by their race. Everyone else is assumed white. And so people call this fun. How is this fun? It's not fun. It was tough. There were a lot of really interesting points that he put forward, but I don't think that any of the characters that he wanted to do justice to, do justice for, that he actually developed them enough. They were still just stereotypes. Like, these housewives were still just stereotypes. Like, they're walking toward the wreckage talking about the best way to get blood out of carpet. Like, shut the fuck up. Come on. You're still just working with these stereotypes. You have yet to actually expand on them as human beings, in my opinion. If you love this book, cool. I'm glad that you do. I get why Grady Hendrix has hype. I have tried him now. I'm not super interested in jumping in anything really quick, but let me know if I would like my best friend's exorcism. Maybe after this like tirade, you'll be like, no, never, don't even try, do not hate on my other favorite books. So I'm sorry, but okay, we're gonna move on. So yeah, good morning. And it's Sunday, so we'll do Sunday reading things. All right, bye. Cheers. Okay, I am only like 4 pages into this. I already wish that I had my own copy because this line, I want to highlight it. I love it. Is there a satisfaction in the effort of remembering that provides its own nourishment, and is what one recollects less important than the act of remembering? That is another question that will remain unanswered. I feel as though I am made of nothing else. I feel like a lot of the books that I'm reading right now have a similar theme of memory woven into them, and so, man, I already know. Much better. So I finished this, I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. I mean, 5 out of 5 stars. Absolutely fantastic. I need to go and read Orlando by Virginia Woolf so that I can then read Orlando, which is what I believe is the other translated work from Jacqueline Hartman, because immediate fan, immediately. Some of the most beautiful, thoughtful prose that I have ever heard to just like really sink down into the essence of humanity and womanhood outside of societal norms. Yes, I'm still in my Udi. I'm sorry. I have no expectations for myself today. And I decided to take this nice and slowly, and I'm so happy that I did. The afterword in the back of this by Sophie McIntosh, perfect, like review and just wrap up of what I had read. It was so illustrative and haunting, but also comforting somehow. I don't know how. I'm gonna chew on this for a few days and I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy this book because I need it and I need to annotate the shit out of it. I love it. Everyone should read it. That's that. Thank you, Books with Emily Fox, for suggesting this. I'm gonna keep putting it out there that people need to read this too. So I think that is going to wrap up my reading vlog for now. No, I still have not read Anna Karenina today, but it's in the guest bedroom where my husband is currently sleeping. He has night shift tonight. So I do not want to bother him, but I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and I'll read my Anna Karenina tonight. Do not worry about that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you are enjoying whatever you're reading, that you and yours are safe, happy, and healthy, and all the best. I'll see you next time.